Even though it's the same 1UZ engine, there is a difference. Between 1994 and 1995, they changed the ECU and all the wiring, including the body plugs. So stay tuned, because I'm going to go quite into depth with this. I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. But basically, the engine would not idle. It wouldn't idle unless I gave it some revs. And then I'd have to like feather the accelerator. In fact, let me try and do it, because I haven't actually fixed it yet. I've solved it, but I've not fixed it. What happens is, and it probably won't do it now because I've actually had it running. But let's see. So it shouldn't do it now. There we go. What happens is, obviously, we turn the key. And it just, well, it's not going to do it now, typical. But basically what would happen is the car would start and then it would die, like so. So, I'll do it again. Right, so now if I apply some throttle, it will start. And if I ease off the accelerator, TPS will pick up. Eventually. I'm going to get copyright for radio now, but there we go. So my foot is completely off the accelerator now, and now it is picked up, and it will idle. But if I kill this, it won't start again. So I hear you all saying, what's the absolute? So, massive shout out. Now, I very much doubt he watches my videos, but after scouring the internet, after nearly a week of research, the car tuning company down in New Zealand, can't remember his name, but I watched, basically, I'm not very familiar with the 1UZ engine. I'm more of a Jay-Z. So, I watched a few of his videos, and my God, that man is an oracle. He absolutely, if you ever want to know anything about these engines, watch his videos. It is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to do a video on setting TPS, and I've literally ripped him off. I'm not going to lie to you, like, the guy is a legend. So what I did, and I will show you in the engine. So obviously that engine is exactly the same as that engine. 1UZ, same ignition coil, everything is exactly the same, but there is one main difference. Don't know what that is, that's some sort of throttle control. So that is the ECU off of the one that come on the car. Now obviously it's in the car, this is just a spare one that I've got because I've got thousands of ECUs. This is the ECU that come off the 94 to 95 spec. So it is actually a different ECU. So after doing some research, as you can see, I thought it was the TPS. It was not the TPS. So after doing some research, I found out that the engine that's now in that car is actually a little bit more powerful and a little bit more responsive, apparently. So when I first installed the car, which I'll put a link to the video of how when I changed the engine here, but basically what happened was, I tried to start the car and I had nothing. So what it was, obviously I went straight to the coil, see if I had 12 volts there. I did not have 12 volts at the coil, there or there. So that was the first problem. Then I went to the injectors based on the problem last time. I wanted to see if I had voltage at the injectors. No voltage at the injectors. Then obviously I thought, right, let's try the battery. So I only had 3 volts there. So I had nothing going to the coil, the igniters. I only had 3 volts to the igniters. So I only had 3 volts throughout the whole system. So what it is, in the kick panel, the looms are very different. So I can't really show you on that one because it basically, all of the loom, all of the igniters, the coils and the injectors are controlled by this ECU. But on this ECU, it's not. It's actually fed by the body. So what happened is, and let me get me torch. Right. So we are now in the car, and I will try and make this as good as possible. But basically, what I've had to do is I've had to make a bit of a loom. Now this loom goes to obviously the black and orange, which is the ignition for the coils, the igniters and the injectors. And what I've had to do, in a grey plug, and you're not going to be able to see it, there's a white plug, there you go, there's a white plug there. You can see where I put that bullet in there. There's a white plug there. Now that isn't actually on the other loom. So it's like a test plug, but on this new one you've got it. So I've got ignition there. So what I did was I hooked up the ignition to the coils, igniters and injectors to 12 volt feed, which is switchable to the ignition. And then it fired up, but obviously we still got that problem. So there is another problem. And this is where it gets very complicated. Basically, now sit down and really concentrate on what I'm saying, because this is it's very weird and it's hard for me to explain. But basically, in the system in the car somewhere, there is a 3-second delay on ignition. So when you turn the key off, the ECU keeps a 12 volt feed to the idle speed control valve. Now it probably does with other stuff as well, but I've been only looking into the idle speed control valve, so I can only go by that. But I'd imagine it does other stuff as well. But the idle speed control valve, basically when you turn the key off from running, it won't stay live unless the engine has been running. Basically it stays live for 3 seconds, which resets the idle speed control valve for the next time you start the car. So what this is in theory doing, because it's only hooked up to switched 12 volts, what it's actually doing, it's basically not resetting it. So when I've turned off the key, it's basically just shut everything down. And the idle speed control valve is basically stuck open or closed to where it was. And the engine and the ECU doesn't actually know where it is. There's a very simple test, and it involves a test light. Now, test light, not a Tesla, excuse me, Cockney slang. But basically, I'm going to show you how you find this out. And once I show you this, it is so simple, but hats off to this cartoon company. Subscribe to him, go watch his videos, say I've sent you, don't care. Like, the man is an absolute legend. I would have been chasing this for months if it wasn't for him. So, all you need is a bog standard test light. Now, this is obviously only if you've ever done an engine swap. It doesn't necessarily need to be in a Soarer, but if you've done an engine swap with a 94, 95 spec engine, you need to check this. But basically, you want to hook your test light up to the ground, and then you want to go to the positive, which is this one here. Now what I'll do is I'll turn the light off so you can see it. So what will happen, I will now go to start this car, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see the test light. Where is the test light? So there we go. Ah, oh, bollocks. I'm going to have to give it some throttle. This is very difficult. But as you can see, it goes live when the ignition is on. So I will now start the car, and it won't start. So I'll give it some throttle. It's not going to do it because it's awkward to get this to actually stay started. So I've basically got to near enough let the engine die, then the TPS sometimes picks up, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. Right, so as you can see, the car is running on its own now. Took a while, but it got there. So, you can see the test light here. So, what should happen now, when I turn the car off, that should stay on for 3 seconds. Well, I'm going to turn it off now and watch what happens. Instantly dies off. So, that basically means that it's wired up wrong. So we know it runs, we know we've got voltage to where we need voltage, but basically the idle speed control valve needs a 3-second delay for it to reset to start again the next time. So after some serious digging, and I think he asks you to pay for this information, so subscribe at least, but next to the fuse box, you've got 2 plugs. Now the top one, I've found that that's got the 3-second delay. So all I've done is I put my T-pieces in and hooked up a wire, hooked up my T-piece, hooked up a wire. Now, obviously this is not the best way to do it. So now you can see I've hooked that up. Basically, I've just bypassed the system. So what will happen now, and I'll turn my light off. So what will happen now is obviously, let's just make sure that that goes live, and it does. So it won't start because it doesn't know where the idle speed control valve is, so I'll give it some time. So I'll do what I did before. Let it pick up. If it picks up, come on. Come on. Nope. Come on, pick up. Come on. Come on. Good. Good. This is the hardest bit, getting the engine to keep going. Come on. Right, so it is now running on its own. What I will do, I'll give that a couple of seconds. You'll hear the revs pick up, and then it will sort of like level itself out. Obviously I've got the headlights on so it can adapt. So what will happen now, you can see the test light is still on. It's basically learning. So you just basically got to let the ECU learn itself where everything is. Right, that's it. You can hear the revs picking up. So it likes that. That's it. There we go. So it's now learning itself. So the ECU is basically picking up timing and everything else, where everything is. So that sounds healthy. So what we'll do now, and again, watch the test light right there. I will turn this off now. 1, 2, 3, dies. So that has basically reset the TPS. So the door is shut, you can see, you've seen this. So it wouldn't start, I had to give it throttle. It was a right pain to start. Now watch this. I'm literally gonna go straight to the key and perfect idle. So I will do it again. I will turn it off. 1, 2, 3, dies. Start the car. No throttle, no nothing. Starts. Perfect. So if you are having an idling problem and you have that ECU or a 94 to 95 spec car, check that that battery, the battery terminal in the diagnostics has got that 3-second delay, which basically allows the TPS to reset. As soon as you turn that key off, it resets the idle speed control valve. So, I haven't actually found the wire yet. Right, so what I've done to eliminate the problem is from the diagnostics port, as you can see, all the engine is now been sprayed. That's now black, that's green, that wasn't, but this is like 4 days later. So the positive of the diag terminal, what I've done is I've actually hooked up a red wire which goes all the way around, because I could not find any wires in the car, couldn't find any wires inside, but what I have found is the two main plugs which go to the fuse box. This top one is the 3-second delay. So all I've done, because I've run out of conduit, is I've got a T-piece in there, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that in there like that. So that will now give me the 3-second delay that I need there. So it started, but what will happen now is the revs will pick up. And that's basically the ECU and the idle speed control valve learning each other. So what I'll do is I'll give that a couple of seconds until the revs pick up. The revs will pick up, and then what I'll do is I'll put the headlights on. Putting the headlights on basically teaches the ECU exactly where it needs to be. It is hot, so it probably won't pick up more than that. But we'll give that a couple of seconds, put the headlights on, give that a minute or so, and then should have learned. So it's been running for about 2 minutes now. You see the headlights are on, the revs have picked up slightly. Just watch the gear right now. Should be able to fill that off. Should just start off the bat. Should. Headlights off. Try it again. Fixed. So yeah, that has basically solved the idle problem on this. So shout out to Cartoon Company. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, then join the Facebook group. Also, if you haven't, why not subscribe? Just rudeness. So yeah, subscribe. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to press the buttons.